Now, a 24-year-old student is accusing a Catholic Reverend Father of shirking his responsibility towards a 8-month-old baby he allegedly fathered. Miss Josephine Ganyuame claims she was abandoned by the priest after learning she was pregnant. A juvenile court in Accra is probing the paternity of the child after the students filed a suit accusing Reverend Father Yves Lucien Nevaga in Ghana of refusing to accept responsibility. Josephine says she wants the Reverend Father to subject himself to a paternity test to determine the father of the baby, among other reliefs. And Josephine is joining us now on the line. Good afternoon to you, Josephine.
Good afternoon.
First, tell us, how did you meet this Reverend Father, and did you know him as a Reverend Father?
I met him on the Ghana Link Road and East Legon, where he nearly knocked me down with his car. So he got down and told that he took my number and we became friends. And he asked me to stop working. He's ready to go to school. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. So after meeting him, after he nearly knocked you down and you took his number, how did that transition into you having a baby for him?
He said his name is Andy, and he's ready to help me go to school. So I called my brother, and we went and got some inquiries at the UPSC. I called him, the two of us went, and he paid some of the money, and we started schooling. And he started harassing me, calling me for sex. So I was scared, and I told some of my colleagues and what they said, my dear, this is how it is. So through around December 2014, October 2014, sorry, it happened. And then when I got pregnant, I called him, I WhatsApped him. He was not in the country by then. He told me he will be back. When he comes back, he will find a means of solving it. So when he came, he took me to the hospital for an abortion. I said, no, I'm not ready to kill. I will keep the baby. And through that, he got upset and started misbehaving.
Okay. Now, tell me something, Josephine. How old are you?
I'm 24 years now.
You're 24. You said this happened 2 years ago. You will have been 22 by then. You wanted to go to school. How then did you give off such a responsibility to a man you just met, to foot your bill to go to school, and then later on have a relationship with him? Did you even know who you were asking for all of this?
Well, it happened because he's the one furthering my education, so I'm scared, like, maybe I might become a school dropout.
So,
that's why.
So you're saying that he told you that if you do not give in to his request, he will not pay for your tuition to school?
Yes, please.
Is that what he said? And
I don't know he was a Catholic bishop, because he told me he's a Cameroonian in a mission. He works for an NGO, but his name is Andy. And when I asked him what company does he work for, he told me, no, please, that's not your business. Your business is to go to school. So after the pregnancy, I went back to where he actually taking me to, and the security man there told me all the people who live here are Reverend Fathers. And I said, what? The person I'm looking for is not a Reverend Father, it's called Andy. And he said, there is no Andy here. And so I described the man, and he said, no, that man is called Father Lucien. So he's the father. I was shocked because that man, I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Why couldn't you believe it?
The man, he likes women. I don't know. The way he has been talking to me, the way he has been harassing me, I was shocked when I got to know that he is a Catholic bishop.
Okay, so when you refused, you say that when you got pregnant, he took you to a maternity clinic to confirm whether or not you were pregnant, and then he told you to abort it.
Yes, please. He said he's not ready that particular year. If it was to be the following year, he will be ready, but that particular year is not ready. And I said, okay, I'm not ready to kill. I'll clean up my mess. I'll carry the burden.
Okay. So are your parents aware of this?
Now they are aware of everything.
Okay, all right. And I could hear the baby crying in the background. Is she okay? Is he or she okay?
He's okay.
All right. So what do you want at this point?
He came here when I gave that out. I went through C-section at Ridge Hospital. All the bills, I paid it. The baby was on that for 1 week. I sorted all those bills. And I called him that very day. He told me he's traveling out of the country. And he was in the country for 3 good months. He didn't come here. When you call him, the numbers go through, but he told you he's out of the country. When he came here 3 months after the baby was born, he came here saying that the baby looked just like his brother Jacuz. He said the brother is called Jacuz. And if he were to live in Ghana here, he would have said it's him that got me pregnant, but not him. And he even showed him the picture of his brother. Now he's saying the baby is not for him. And he claims we should go for paternity test. He has been postponing the test, and he took me to one of his lawyers. They said lawyer Kofi at A&A Consult around airport. And I told the man, I'm not ready for a private test. Let's go to the court. The court will place an order, then they will handle everything there. The man said no, he is not going to do that. So he wants to do it privately. And the lawyer went ahead to this Midland what was center, and they got an inquiry there. They came here that they want to take me and the baby there for the test. And I said no, I don't want it like that. He has not been taking responsibility of the baby. He has not been taking responsibility of the baby. And I reported him to Mr. Kwesi Fori, the district commander of Todowa. And the commander said because of his diplomatic status, he can't arrest him, but he'll report him to his boss. Later on, commander called me to tell me that his boss said the man is a very stubborn man and he don't know how he will handle him. Lucien came here and told me that I went to report him to his boss, so he would deal with that commander and my brother. My brother that is following him up with the case, he would deal with him and the commander, so I should only give them their name. As for my brother, he called him, so he knows his name. He will handle him. That very week, my brother died mysteriously. Okay,
you say you reported the matter
yes,
to his superiors. Who exactly did you report it to? Where?
It's Mr. Kosifori who reported him to his boss, and his boss sent one man. He claims he's a Catholic bishop. He came here to take picture of us, and then I've never heard anything from them again.
Okay, all right. Thank you for speaking to us, Josephine, for your time this afternoon. Let's now speak to the General Secretary of the Catholic Secretariat, the National Catholic Secretariat, Very Reverend Nicholas Friye. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
And thank you for speaking to us. First of all, is your office aware of this case?
Yeah, we are all hearing about it.
Okay. Now, the lady in question says this matter was reported to your office. When was this done?
You know, now the problem is that there are 2 offices in Ghana. We have the National Catholic Secretariat, and we have the African office. And so the person in question is not at the National Catholic Secretariat. The person in question is working at the regional office, which is the African office. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. But if it's regional, it's under your office, isn't it?
No. The regional one is higher, is bigger. It concerns the whole of Africa.
Okay.
And I am for only Ghana. You understand?
So you're saying your office is not involved in this matter? You're not investigating this?
No, it's not that one to handle it. It's at the regional office. And the regional office, if you want any information, you have to get in touch with the Archbishop of Accra, Most Reverend Charles Gabriel Pamabaka.
Okay. But for a case like this, once you say you've heard of it, this is something that happened in our jurisdiction in Ghana. This is a man who's done, once you say you're aware of this, I'm sure you know what the details are. The woman says that the man in question, the Reverend Father, has shared his responsibility, has confirmed having sex with her.
Okay.
What do you make of this case? What's your office doing about this, the Catholic Church?
Secondly, my office, anyway, you will find out from the other office the details and everything. But we cannot take any action. Even the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference cannot take action on that. It is the African bishops who will take action. But at least there is one person involved in the African session. That is the Archbishop of Accra. That's why I'm saying he is the person to contact. But let me say that as a Catholic priest, we all know what we are supposed to do, our responsibility, and our behavior towards the opposite sex. When you are going through the training as a priest, whether you are young in the secondary school or when you go to the major seminary, we all know that they tell you that we want people who will not marry, who will not go for women, to be Catholic priests. That is the position of the church. And you accept, you go through the training. For how many years? If you enter the minor seminary, you take about 14. The major seminary is about 7. So you go through training for 7 years, and you are told all the time, all your studies, everything is geared towards that, to live alone. And so then when you are about to be ordained as a priest, you write a letter to your superiors that you want to be ordained as a Catholic priest. And as a Catholic priest, you live chaste life, meaning you will not go for women, you will not marry, you will not give birth. And you will sign and become a priest. And so that is what you are supposed to live by. You cannot become a priest and then you live another life. So that is it.
Okay, so if it's established that the man actually did all of this, had sex with his lady, and also got the lady pregnant, what does the church do about cases like this?
In the church, we have the laws of the church. It is contained in a book called Canon Law. You have Canon Law, the Code of Canon Law. It has about 1,000 and over laws. And part of it is termed sanctions of the church. Sanctions of the church. And the sanctions include a priest who will also go and father a child, who will go after a woman. They are all there.
What's the kind of punishment for this particular issue? What do you do to such a person?
We have the ultimate punishment. That is, you have to leave the priesthood. They have to ask him to leave. Or they're not to ask him, they have to send him out of the priesthood. And because you cannot live the life that you are supposed to live.
Okay, but
so that is the ultimate sanction of this one.
All right. Very Reverend Father Nicholas Efriye, is it not becoming difficult for the oath of celibacy to be upheld? Because you mentioned, I spoke to you today, and you indicated that cases like this for the Catholic Church globally is not just one in case. There have been a number of them we've seen in the past. Is it not becoming increasingly difficult to hold up the oath of celibacy, considering how human we are?
No. I don't think it's an issue at all. It's like saying that because married couples cannot live with one, maybe the man cannot live with the woman, he goes for another person, and so we should allow men to marry 2, 3, 4, 5.
But this borders on the basic issue of sex, and if for any human being like a man who has feelings, they cannot manage it, it certainly becomes an issue, doesn't it?
Okay. The thing is that I've already explained about the stand of the church, that he wants, the church wants people who will not marry, because in the we have that there are people, because of the kingdom of God, they decide not to marry for the kingdom of God, and so that is the people the church wants. And so if you accept to come in, it means that is what you are going to live by. But you know, in matters of sex, requires discipline. If you are not disciplined, even if you have 10 women, the man, if you have 20 women with you married, then he will go for another person. So it requires discipline. And so if the person is not disciplined, that is what happens. That is what. Otherwise, if you discipline yourself, it is possible. People have lived it, and it is possible to live it. And so, if somebody decides to do otherwise, that becomes a problem. It shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem because it's possible you can live it.
Okay.
And people have. And if you look at the number of priests in the world, let's take only Ghana. Ghana, you have more than 1,500 priests. And so, if from time to time you get to hear that one person is doing AD, that is a worry.
Isn't it also possible that this is only the reported case and that there are many we do not get to hear of?
No. I don't think so. If there are other cases, let them come. Otherwise, there are no cases. There are good priests who are working for the people, who are working for the country, who are working for the church. They are good ones.
Okay.
And you don't hear about these things. You in Accra, when you hear of Father Campbell at the Christ the King working with the lepers, will you say that that is what he's doing? No. So there are good priests working for the church, working for the communities, working for Ghana.
All right.
But if you have one or two who are doing this, it's a source of worry. But I mean, they are few. I mean, and they are the ones when they are found out in the church, they have to be asked to leave.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us this afternoon. Very Reverend Nicholas Efriye is the General Secretary of the National Catholic Secretariat. Let me just read some of the comments you've sent us on this particular story. It's one of the issues that has been topical today on social media. David Mills says they should allow them to have sex. Nobody can compare himself to Jesus or the Apostle Paul. I won't be surprised if the Pope comes out one day with his confessions. Well, that's a bit extreme. Zainab Momo says, I respect the priest for not denying responsibility. I hope a paternity test is done to establish if he is the father of the child. The lady is wasteful and has spent 9,600 cedis in renting an apartment. That's an interesting detail to have now. I hope the priest is the father. Otherwise, he should be made to pay back every dime. Priests are also human and can make mistakes. Dio Elikem says, quite fascinating this case. The priest knew he's not allowed what he did. The girl knew a priest can't be a father in that sense. That is giving you or your child a name, but it all happened. Mortals, life. God give us the grace to make the right decision when it matters most, and let your spirit guide and lead us always. Maria B. David says that you are aware the Catholic priest takes a vow against marriage and childbirth. Why did you allow him? He has no money. Well, the lady says she was unaware that the man was a Roman father up until she got pregnant. Zoiku Daniel says a priest is above 18 years. Why can't you people bring his face so that we can know the bad ones among us? Okay. Nana Benin Emisa says you could have as well used that rent cash to equally build that single room self-contained and have a balance. I see blackmailing and an opportunist here. Nantongma Mahamadou Badim Sugru says, I thought they said they don't have feelings for women. And why is his face hiding? Is it because he's a Christian? That's a question you're asking, Nantongma. Kofi Menu Julius says, plaintiff is seeking a declaration that a respondent's irresponsibility breaches the rights of the child to a name, basic necessities of. Okay, so you're giving a bit of detail into this particular case. It's one story that has been trending today on social media. Thank you for your comments. We'll read some more in the course of the program.